So yeah, I would like to welcome you, Sipto, for joining us. And if someone is yeah, so hello everyone. Today we have a special guest here with us, who is currently an Amazon SD intern right now, right? And he will be telling us more about his journey all along the way. And yeah, actually, he's my classmate as well. We were in the same class. Look where he is, right? So yeah, so enough about me. And now let's talk. Like, can you introduce yourself as well, Sirto, for everyone here? That would
Yep,
be
yep.
great.
So nice to be a guest, first of
Yeah.
all. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining in. So I am Shilipto. I am a final year undergraduate from MIT, classmate of Abhinav. And yep, I'm in my final semester and currently interning at Amazon.
Nice. So, can we start with your journey with like preparation of DSA? Because I remember in our second year, I guess, right? We were first of all, just to give premise, we both are from electronic branch, right? Electronics and instrumentation, right? So there we don't study DSA, and I mean not exactly computers, so we have to do things ourselves only, right? So when exactly you started your DSA journey, so we can start from there, right? So can you tell that?
Yep, yep. So my journey started from second year itself. So third semester, as you said, we are from electronics, right?
Yeah.
Third semester where we start with the core branch stuff, electronic stuff. So that's when I realized that electronics is not for me. So probably from my fourth semester I started exploring a bit.
Hmm.
That's when like it wasn't in my mind that okay, I have to prepare DSA for placements or and all, not those stuff. Like I was just exploring, like okay, if not electronics, then what then? So I just started exploring. I started with some research stuff, this and that, started with machine learning, and parallelly, because I had uh, a bit of coding experience in my 11th and 12th, so I thought of giving it a shot again. So I just started like competitive programming, like code forces, lead coded randomly. So that's where it started. I started liking it. So
Hmm.
continued from there. That's when like I started preparing for interview, like for internships. I was not that ready. Like I used to code properly that time. I used to participate in contests and all, but like it wasn't in my mind that okay, let's prepare for interview. I have internships coming. So I didn't get a proper internship in software engineering
Hmm.
when I was like post second year, the 2 months internship. I didn't get one for software engineering. So that's when I realized no, I need preparation for that as well. So for placements, I think starting the sixth sem, I thought okay, competitive programming is good, but I need a little extra focus just on DSA for the placements and all. So entire sixth sem, I had spent proper time, proper planning and all for placements. Yeah, that's how it panned out.
Yeah, right. So like many of us expect like that ki they start from even like first semester, and if you are getting into FANG companies, you need to start from like first semester itself. You need to do like it does actually it depends. I guess it depends from
Right.
person to person, right? Even if you start from sixth sem, if you are dedicated with a goal, you can crack any company. I think, right?
Yep, yep. All you need is a proper plan.
Exactly, proper planning is really important. Even I like in my session, I mean in my this day course is the last class, right? Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
So even like my focus was on making them get that mindset of problem solving first, right? You can tell that, right? That mindset is really important, irrespective of language. You get that mindset ki okay, I have this problem, in what ways I can solve this, in how much time, less complexity and all, right? So that was the main focus of this. I was not exactly teaching them the language, I was teaching them the mindset, that problem solving mindset which they want. I guess that is important, really, right? Yeah. what resources did you find the most helpful in this preparation? Can you tell that? Like, if you started from your third semester, uh, sorry, yeah, third semester as in.
Yep.
So, what exactly? I mean, what was your first video or some resource that okay, this is where I will start.
See, initially I just started randomly coding in code forces. Okay, like
Hmm.
not just the contest, you will find enough problems there in code forces. So I would just like randomly to make myself feel good that okay, I'm being able to do something at least. I still remember the first easy problem that I took in lead code. It took me 2 days to solve. Like
Hmm.
to get the like I was thinking the right thing, but to think and code is a different thing, right?
Exactly.
So to solve the get the wrong answer to the correct answer in lead code, it took me 2 days. I still like when I go back to the like
Yeah,
lead code,
that
I
is
see that.
the main problem these days. Like, if you
Yep.
like, people start from lead code, let's say, right? And first of all, they are not confident to go to code forces at all, right? And I
Hmm.
understand, because that's a competitive level, right? And you have done a little bit of coding in your 11th, 12th, right? So
Hmm.
I'm just saying for that, the beginner one. So they don't go to code forces, it's fine. They start from lead code, they fail once, and then, like, obviously you won't get the correct answer, you won't get the correct, successfully compile and all in the first day, and then they leave, like, as in key, okay, I think it's not for me. So they don't give more efforts, like, they don't, wait for the results, they don't work around it. Can you tell those, like, can you tell what would you be your advice on that, like, not to exactly give up on your first day, as in you said that in the lead code you got like 2-3 days to get that solution right. Can you tell that?
See, the one thing that we need to understand now, even I'm learning, right? So one thing that I'm learning about software engineering is having the courage to fail,
Exactly.
because it teaches you more. Like not just first day of course, like it won't be as easy as you think it
Hmm.
is, but it's not just about the first day. Like we all know, right? You know how to solve a problem. If you like, let's say you are 6 months experienced with the interview stuff. Now you know that okay, this problem, this is how you can solve it. There's no point in doing that, it's not teaching you anything anymore.
Exactly.
So solve the problem where you know you can fail.
Hmm.
So that's what will help you to think something in a different way. It will teach you something at least. So have the courage to fail. That's what, like, even it's not just the preparation stuff. Even when you are in the industry, like you have to have the courage to take a decision. To It's okay if you fail, but what that's how you think, right? That's how you go on to have a better solution.
that's
So
a
yeah, it's completely fine.
That's a great line, like, have courage to fail, right? And also, like, according to me, like, currently when I'm doing my internship and we are doing development stuff, right? So what I have understood till now is that it's the zeroth law of software engineering. The first solution you ever came up is the worst solution in
Right.
this development history. Like, the first solution which comes in your mind to solve something, that's the worst solution you can get. And that's which tells you that there's always a way to go better, to do better, right? And like now let's come to the Amazon interview. Exactly, right. So can you share some, like, challenging data topics which Amazon or these companies usually target? Because many questions come exactly that. I mean, people are confused around this, right? So what topics exactly you feel like Amazon came up with? You
See,
can,
if you
yeah,
are
yeah.
hmm,
Go on, go on.
if you are asking about just about Amazon, I would say like you can just go on and read Lead Code, Gigs for Gigs. They have pretty enough like interview experiences. Like trees, DPs, these things are very common these days, right? But if you are asking the other man companies other than Amazon, like graphs, DPs, trees, these things are like must-haves these
Hmm.
days.
Hmm.
So you have to have like it's not just about solving 5 to 10 questions, like knowing how to do it, but having that proficiency to think to solve those problems, that is, which I feel is more important.
So what exactly is the pattern? Like you like there's a first round was everyone for everyone. First round was the normal OA round, right? Online assessment, where we
Right.
got like three questions, uh, two
Two
or three,
questions,
two
I guess.
questions. Oh, sorry, two
Hmm.
questions. Those were based on I guess array. Some it was mixed for everyone, right? So that I think many would do, and I think I feel like for OAs, competitive programmers have better edge, right? Because they are faster than everyone else, right? So even I would say that if your goal is like, I mean, try going competitive level if you're studying DSC. That was also my
See,
uh, DS.
just one correction here, I would say is like there's been a lot of things going on in the internet, right? Competitive programming is good, it's bad. Like if you're, I would say if you're just preparing for the interviews, like it's fine if you don't want to do competitive programming, it's completely fine. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But one thing you have to understand is when you are going for interviews, when you are going for the online assessments, it's not just about if you are able to solve or not, which is not the most important thing, but are you able to solve within a proper time frame? That is
Yeah.
more important. So even if you are able to solve and not within the time, then what's the point?
So,
So
in summarize, you are saying that if you are not going community level, you need to when you
yeah,
are practicing, you need to have that time frame, right?
yeah, yes, it's like if you don't want to go for competitive programming, it's fine, but
Hmm.
you have to practice with, you can have your own timer in lead code, they provide you the timer to
Exactly.
see in how much time you are solving. You have to, like, you have to see the time, like you have to improve the time within which you are solving a problem.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So now going to the pattern, basically, like first was way
Mhm.
around. Now second, which you experienced, can you share that all every pattern of your interview?
So you are asking me specific to Amazon, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazon. You cracked
So
Amazon only, right?
no, no, no. The reason I'm telling is, so the first was the online assessment, right?
Yeah,
The one main thing about Amazon that people make a mistake is, if you remember, after the online assessment, we got some behavioral
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So many people made a mistake and just randomly put a solution, but
Hmm.
you have to understand that those are called the leadership principles for Amazon, and it's one of the most things, like starting right from there, just post the online assessment till everything that you do inside, like during your internship, or even if you are a full-time employee, everything you will be judged based on the leadership principles. So
Hmm.
during, after the online assessment, we had those behavioral questions, and those were really important actually. Those were not just a survey questions. So people, even though, like I had spoken to people like who had solved multiple questions, but they didn't attain those behavioral questions properly, they were
Ah.
not selected. They,
Hmm.
Amazon takes the leadership principles very seriously.
Okay.
So those things were done, and after that we had the interview. So I had, so they changed the pattern till I think last or last to last year. Amazon used to have three interview rounds even for interns, but this year they changed the pattern to just one.
Okay.
So for me, I had just one single interview. So they asked me two questions. It's very time specific. So right at the beginning, I had my introduction. They gave their introduction, and they were like very direct that okay, you are going to have 1 hour. We are going to give you two questions. Not like okay, 30 minutes for each question. They were like, you decide how you are going to manage to solve the two questions,
Oh.
and they just got started with it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it.
Right. So you got two questions. Can you give us little bit detail about those questions,
Yeah,
if you
sure.
remember?
So,
I think
so
this was
I
the
don't remember
most.
the exact questions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go on, go on.
Yeah, Avinav, you were saying something.
No, I was just saying that this was the one of the most important interviews till now, right, for you. So, uh, right. So, yeah. So you don't remember the question exactly, but can you just give us the topic?
Yeah, yeah. So the first one was a DP with a string.
Hmm.
So The brute force solution that I had came up with was using stacks and all. That's what I remember. So what happened was, the first question they made me solve in three different ways, like three different solutions. And what normally we expect is, even if they're giving two questions, the first, obviously you are going to give a brute force solution, worst time complexity. Like it suggested, like even if you know the best possible solution, start with the worst possible solution,
Yeah,
so that you can show that you can,
exactly.
you can do better than this. You need to sell yourself in the interviews. It's
Exactly.
being honest.
Even I during the preparation during this course, even I told them
Mhm.
everyone that even if you know the better solution, don't start with better solution, or else the
Exactly,
question.
exactly.
Even this happened to one of my friend. What happened was, just for your like adding the point, what happened was that he got some question, right, which was straightforward, but it was just you could use hash table to solve it, right? But the brute force
Mhm.
method he didn't mention. He was like, okay, this question. Then the interviewer was like, okay, you already know this question, na? So let me change the question. Then he got more complex one, and he got it. So
Yeah.
that's really important point, to always come up with brute force first and then go to more optimized. Yeah,
Yes,
continue,
exactly,
continue,
exactly.
continue.
So yeah, so we expect ki we'll give a brute force solution first, and normally what happens is they don't ask you to code the brute force solution. They'll ask you the time complexity and all,
Hmm.
like, and then they will ask, can you improve on that? In my case, like, I wasn't expecting, but it just went opposite. So brute force also, I gave them a solution. They were like, okay, the solution sounds fine. Can you just quickly code it up? So they will give you a doc, and that's where you need to code, like not some ID.
Okay.
So I quickly came up with, like, completed the code for that. Then they were asking about time complexity, space complexity, and then can you improve? I gave them another solution. Surprisingly, they asked me to write the solution, code the solution for that as well. So I completed that. Again, they asked me to improve the code. Like at that point, they asked me if I can completely improve the space complexity, ignore the stack that I was using.
Hmm.
So finally, the third one was the most optimized one. So that was DP with a string. And after that, like, even though I had solved a lot of questions on DP, but that particular question was completely new. Like I had never touched before. So that was a new question. And the second one was of binary trees. Like it was, I had solved a similar problem before, but again I came up with a brute force first. Like, so they asked me to code the first one, and like the second one they asked me, can you improve? But they didn't ask me to code further. Like it was already four solutions I had already coded. So they were just asking me randomly questions, can you improve this one here? And like just verbal solutions. Yeah.
So the, like, your first question, you haven't coded it earlier, right? So
No, no, it was completely new to me.
which explains that you need to solve like unseen questions, right? Like your
Hmm.
earlier point that you mentioned, that in the code forces you get those questions, right? You can't, you need to face that those questions, right? Which you have not solved. You can't just follow one, I guess, one SD sheet and keep doing that again and again. Even I,
No, no.
like, it's good to start from the sheet, I guess, right? Or you have any other alternative for that, or is it fine?
No, it's correct only. Like, see, always while my preparation days, the one thing that I always used to keep in mind is DSA solving these sheets are fine. They help you solve different patterns. Okay, like that's the main motive. That okay, there can be five patterns, and they're helping you to solve five patterns, and it's completely fine to solve a sheet. But what's more important is like how you are able to think, how you are able to think differently. So that's why, like, even if I'm solving, I used to follow a sheet as well, but side by side I used to randomly go in lead code. So lead code has this feature, right? You can just select a topic and they will give you multiple
Yeah.
questions on that. So I just used to randomly go and solve questions there. So you just have to be able to think during, it's not like they will give you a question that you have solved before. There will be new questions when you go into the top companies for interviews, there will be new questions, and it's just about how you are able to think that time, different
Hmm.
solutions, that different patterns you have solved before. First try to map those. Is it falling into some pattern that you have already solved? If not, then think of the hints. There will always be some hint in the question itself, always. So think of the, gather all the hints that you can gather and get started with that. That will always land up you with a solution.
Let's say if a person is attempting one question, right, and he or she is not able to solve within a particular 30 minutes, right? So I
Yeah,
feel like after 30 minutes you can just maybe look up the hints or the possible discussion panel, and there seeing that, because I feel like you should not waste more than 40 minutes, I guess, for a question, right? Is that fine? Yeah, because that is also one of the most asked questions, right? Like how much I should wait. Also, which comes me to the next question: how harsh is Amazon with the time constraint? Like you solved both questions in 1 hour, right? Uh, so are they literally harsh that after 1 hour you're like, okay, you are done?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. It's
they're,
like that. Like
yeah.
they're very strict with their time. So
Hmm.
I was interviewing before Amazon as well, right?
Yeah.
So I used to see companies where either I am starting, like they're starting a bit late and ending also late. Amazon is very particular with their timings.
Hmm.
Like I remember that was my first interview that time where it started at the right time. Exactly. They said 12 means it's 12. And they said 1 hour means they won't give you one, like even if you ask for 30 additional seconds, they won't give you. So they're very particular with their timing, and like you don't have a choice.
I see. Nice.
Yeah.
uh if like so if you have talked with other people like who
Mhm.
gave the same interview and couldn't crack, can you give, if you know, obviously, can you tell what mistakes they did? Because it's always better to tell everyone the both sides, like
Right.
what you should do and what you should not do, right? So can you tell, if you know,
Yeah.
if you
Like
have talked with people?
definitely, like
Yeah.
I spoke to some of my friends and also from my other interview experiences where
Yeah,
I was not selected as
exactly,
well,
you
I
can
would
tell
say.
that. Yeah.
So the thing about interviews is, the first thing is do not panic. Like that's the most important thing. Do not panic, because see, it's just the beginning of a very lengthy career, and it's okay to if you fail in one interview. But if you are panic, like the probability of failing is much more.
Hmm.
So do not panic is the first thing that I would say. Secondly, read the question properly. Like it's very important to understand what a problem is. Like often it happens is we just jump into a solution without even understanding what exactly the question is asking for. Let's say you understood the problem, you had solved a similar problem before, you are going for a solution, okay? Like they are asking you just to return, you are also printing.
Hmm.
It's not required. You have to understand what is required in the interviews. When you are practicing, you are giving the contest, it's different. When it comes to the interviews, it's completely different. So that's another thing. Other than that, like speaking to my peers about the Amazon interview, the one thing that, like the feedback from them, what I got to know is they are more interesting in understanding how you think. That is very important. Like it's always said, right? Like whatever you are thinking, think out loud. So a lot of people made a mistake there. Like
Hmm.
even in my case, I would say, like I told you, right? The first question had three solutions. In my final solution, so there was a string I was traversing, like the entire solution was correct, but I was traversing from front to the end, and somehow I got one example where it wasn't working. So because I was thinking out loud, okay, whatever I was thinking, right, wrong, I was just speaking up.
Yeah.
So they gave me a hint, and like they gave me the hint that what if we traverse from the end to the front, and like that was it for the solution. So in interviews, a lot of people make a mistake of not
Not.
speaking out loud.
Yeah.
So it's really important, because in the interview, see, you, everyone knows, like if you have it by reading your resume only, they will understand how many problems you have solved or not.
Exactly.
But in the interviews, they come to see within a when there is pressure, are you able to handle the pressure? Are you what the way you are thinking of solutions? Those things are very important. So it's highly recommended. Like it's the most important thing. Like when we used to do maths, right? In our 10th 12th days, like if there's a question, you can do the solution in your mind and write the answer, but that won't give you the marks, right? For a 4 mark solution, you have to write how you have got the solution. So in interviews, it's the same thing. You have to show that this is how you are thinking. They will hire you by judging on how you think, how you are able to s- get, okay, this is the exact problem. So
Hmm.
that is what they judge you by. Yeah.
Exactly. Nice. Uh, that was really insightful. Like even yeah that even I tell my peers as well that you should not be silent in your interviews, right? You should always be speaking. As you said, you need to sell yourself. You need to always be active and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. So as you code or as you write, you need to tell ki why you are doing that, like why you are doing
Exactly.
that. Even that's the point, that's the same reason why I started teaching as well, right? Like because when I'm teaching them, I'm speaking out loud, I'm speaking out my solutions, right? So that helped me as well, right? So that's great, I guess.
Good
Interview,
point, actually, Abhinav.
yeah, because also I think one thing also I would like to add, like, see, when you are in a company, right? So even my manager, current manager, is also used to still says to me that before coding you need to design a solution first, like what you are doing, because that mistake I have done, that I have coded everything and then I realized that, oh, this was not needed actually, right? So that's also really important. And uh, and the way you write your code is, I feel like, important. Okay, they understand, they, I mean, like, the way you are defining a function name, that what function this does. Because if, like, even you can also agree to this point that when you are in company, you need to write function names correctly, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it should be more readable for others.
the function name should be telling you what that function is doing exactly. The code should be
Exactly.
readable. So I guess I also tell these people to focus on that as well, right? You, it won't be needed in your DSA preparation exactly, but it's always a good practice to exactly tell what
Good
that.
to have. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my one point.
Like that's actually good point. So this was one of the mistakes that I used to make. Like what we do during practice, just int n, right? But even
Yeah.
during interviews, it's not suggested. Like you should not do that.
Hmm.
Like give meaningful names. Like I remember during the Amazon interview, like as I said, I was speaking out what I was thinking, but even during code, every variable, every function I was naming, I was giving it some meaningful name, and I was also like reading out my mind, like
Yeah.
why I am naming this function
Hmm.
will be doing this, so I'm naming it this. So it's really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I guess that summarizes our whole interview session. Can you tell your experience in Amazon currently? Like, how is Bangalore treating you? How exactly is the culture there? And how are your peers and managers? That would be.
Bangalore is harsh, man. That's one
Yeah,
thing.
a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
weather
but
as well.
like
Like,
yeah, but yeah, jokes apart, like Amazon has been great, honestly. Like we here, right? Like now that I am in, now I understand why it's like considered one of the best.
hmm,
Like see, perks, benefits, those things are one thing you have to accept. Like they're giving like best in the business, but keeping those aside, the biggest positive that I am getting right now is like being among the people who are best in the business.
yeah,
So reading how they think, okay, like how they, like when you come across, you will, there will be times when it will be like you will struggle, okay, there will be problems that you are not being able to solve just sitting and in one night. So there will be difficult times, how you tackle them. So being able to learn those things, that's been the best experience for me so far. Yeah.
uh, can you just hold on?
Yeah, for sure. And he just disappeared.
Uh, yeah, so sorry for that. Is my face visible? Just hold
Your
on.
camera is
Yeah,
yep.
okay. My yeah, so that was really insightful, I guess. What was my next question? Okay, let me just refer my notes. Any unexpected challenge you faced during an internship? Like what? Like if as a joinee, new joinee, if someone is going in the company, what should be like some challenges if you faced as a fresher? Can you tell that?
See, first 1 month was actually like tough for me. Okay,
The
so what
weather or
happened
what?
is, obviously, weather is one thing. Like that is
Just for
definitely one.
reference, this the panel is BMSC College of Bangalore, right?
Okay,
So they are
okay, okay.
really comfortable with the weather, but we are not cause I don't know, man. Like I don't know what happened this year with the weather. I don't
See,
know.
that's what like even I keep telling like with the in the people I'm working with, right? That even our inter batch is suffering everywhere we are going.
The 2024 batch is cursed, I guess.
Yeah, genuinely, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. So what was just can
challenge.
you?
Any
Yeah,
challenge in your first month?
yeah.
You were saying,
So
yeah.
what happened was just you mentioned, right? So first 1 month was chill. Like it was just for me to get used to with the people, learn to speak to people and all. The second month, the entire like I started coding in the third month actually. Like the second entire month was just designing the solution to the problem.
Hmm.
So at that phase I was struggling because I had never touched Java before.
Hmm.
Okay, that was one thing. Plus also the text, everything was new. Like those are the challenges you face that when you come in. So one good thing was like because I was good in C++, so Java was not an issue, but the other like tech parts and like you have to come up with a solution. You can only think when you know certain stuff, right? So initially I was struggling with those things, but like with time, like fortunately I have got a very good mentor. So
Hmm.
he used to share. So one more thing, one more important thing about preparing for interviews is to learn how to read documentations. It's very important.
Exactly.
Like what I feel, like you can learn from YouTube, there's no harm, but you have to learn to read documentations because when you come inside the company, there are no YouTube videos that's going to help you. You have to read the existing documentations, and if you don't have the patience, if you don't know how to read it, how to understand, it's going to be a problem. So those documentations helped me when I was struggling. And post that, when I started coding is like I didn't find much problem when it came to code. But yeah, while like before, when the design for the solution was being made, I was struggling with the new text. But yeah, like if you, that's what they were checking, right? That if you are being able to learn quickly. So yeah,
That's right.
like it helped.
Yeah. Nice. I think we can open the panel for questions. If you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. That's also fine. Or raise your hands, type the question in the chat box.
I used to do all this stuff.
Yeah, actually, man. Even this isn't the first time I'm taking an experience. So this is also new for me. Uh, Someone has any question, you can unmute or just write in the chat box. Yeah, one question is there. Is there any particular coding language that need to be good at? Like you need to be good at.
Yeah, yeah, you need to be good at Go.
Go. I mean, not.
No, no.
Don't go there.
Jokes apart, jokes apart, there's no such thing. Like I told na, like so what they say at the top. See, if you are interviewing for some particular like Java development and all those, for those things, yeah, you have to have experience with that. Other than that, if you, for this top MNCs, right, they will take up let's say 300 people and just uh, scatter them over different teams. Different
Hmm.
teams use different tech stack, different languages. So you don't have to be good at multiple languages. You have to be good at just one language. If you master one language, it's very easy to learn some new language. It's just for loop. You have to know the syntax. That's it. I had zero experience of Java, not even a single line.
Hmm.
Trust me. I was good at C++. I'm writing like flawlessly, I'm writing Java right now. So it makes no difference if you know five good at, it's not bad to have. You can be good at five different languages, but yes, it's good enough if you are good at one.
Uh, One thing I want to ask, like, is there anything you want to change in your journey? Like, if you go previously, is there anything you want to be like, okay, I should have done this thing differently, right? Can you tell that if you have thought about that?
Are you asking me about the interview preparation or
Not
just
in
about college?
interview experience, like, yeah, basically DSA preparation or interview experience from college. Is any one thing you want to basically change if you have done this better? I'm sure
I would say,
you're a bad best place. Obviously, I'm just saying still, right?
like, yeah, one thing is like connecting with peers for DSA. Like, that's, I feel that that is one thing I could have done better,
Yeah.
because it really helps, you know, like you are doing one thing on your own that's completely different,
Hmm.
but when you have someone who will come up with problems, will, like, you may be able to solve, but there will always be problems, you know. They can come up with something that will surprise you. So it's always good to have good peers around,
Good
like in a group.
multiple perspectives of a question, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
We have more questions. I'm in first year. Is it time to start my TSA journey? I mean, obviously, right?
Nah, man, just enjoy your first
No.
year.
Okay.
Like, we
Surprisingly,
see.
surprise statement coming from electronics grad, but I
Yeah,
feel like,
yeah.
I mean, you can do or not, but okay, it's my
See,
perspective. You should
yeah,
have.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the way I think is, first year is where you explore. You
Yeah.
can
Right.
start, obviously, you can start your DSA journey even before your first year. Okay. It's not bad to have, but first year is where you enjoy your college life, because after that you won't get the chance. I
Actually.
understand that because we missed our first year due to COVID.
Yeah.
We were online batch in first year. So enjoy your first year as much as you can and explore different things. It's like those are the time you can actually.
And keep your CGPA good also from first
Actually,
year.
actually,
That is also
actually,
really important.
because yeah, after first year things are actually getting serious in business. Yeah.
Yes. One question is, how can I grab or approach such internships for student from tier 3 college? Is referrals the best way? If yes, how can you get those?
Good question actually. So see, it's true, like the which tier you are from, it doesn't matter when you go to the interview, but yes, reaching to the interviews also matter. So yeah, referral is obviously one thing. You have to keep applying, you know, like there are multiple off campus openings, and when you go off campus, they don't, maximum companies, they don't judge you by your uh, institute name. When it's off campus, they will judge you by the skills that you possess, the experience that you have, all those things. So keep applying, that is one thing. And yes, another option is by asking for referrals. If you, like, the question is, if yes, how to get those. So one thing is you have to keep in contact with your seniors. That is one way. Get referrals from your seniors. Other than that, LinkedIn right now is the best way. Just text anyone that you know and ask for referral from LinkedIn. So yeah, that's the best way you can get for referral.
Yeah. Right now the market condition is bad actually, but I feel like this is the way you guys can approach. And it's true that like reaching out for a tier 3 college, it's tough, but I've seen multiple examples where I have not even heard of that institute, but still they are in good place. So also don't feel like demotivated if you don't get your dream company at once. Obviously you can up the ladder, right? You can be skillful. If you The most important thing in this current market condition is that you get experience first, right? Irrespective of
Right.
any company, right? Because you need to accept the recession is going on still. I don't know about your batch, if you guys like first second year batch. I hope the situation gets better, but yeah, like the point is, my point is that whatever the market condition is, you need to get experience first, then you can jump, obviously jump. And even so, you know how easy it is to shift, right? Like we have to shift every year, so that we get that hike and all, right? Many people do that, right? So it's easy to shift, and it's the most preferred way to get up the ladder, right?
Yeah, like
um,
I'll just add to that,
yeah,
Avinav.
yeah,
Like,
sure.
see, one thing that I used to focus, like, I am in Amazon right now, but I didn't think of, okay, I have to get into Amazon. Yes, it was like I want to get there, but it wasn't. I knew because one thing, obviously, market is bad right now. But let's say even if market is good, see, one thing you have to understand is how to keep improving yourself. If you are best at something, maybe first attempt, second attempt you will fail, but if you are good enough, you are destined to be at the best place. So do not worry about that.
Exactly.
So just keep improving
Keep
yourself.
improving. Yeah. uh, we have any, are you planning to go to masters?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, right.
yeah. Not no such immediate plans, but yeah, like at the end of the internship, I will consider my plans. Yeah.
Nice. Any more questions we have in the panel, or I guess I covered most. Wait, from where did you apply to internship? This was on campus.
On campus. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions we have? But I think I know one girl, right, who applied
Mhm.
off campus and is in your office only. Paridi, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, you can complain about this, but yeah. So what happened is, yeah, like she's in, but what I'm saying, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about her. The thing I'm saying is, so there were openings this time for Amazon, but only for girls off campus. So that was one thing, like, I didn't feel right, but yeah, you can't do anything about that.
How important are projects? One question is that. I mean, in your
Pro-
resume.
Projects are important actually. Anyone who says that it's not important, it's wrong. It's important, but yeah, like when you go for interviews in the top MNCs, it's not the most important thing. Like they will see, okay, it's good to have, like, you have some decent projects. It will only help you to make a better impression. This is the most important thing there. But yes, you have to have. You can't go with like very clumsy projects and all. You can't go. That will put a very bad impression. It's like just put a minus point
Right.
for whatever you are doing.
Yeah. Actually, that's fine. You are from which college? Manipal Institute of Technology. I think he
Yeah, yeah,
joined
yeah.
late. Yeah. Any other questions we have, or is it fine? You guys can unmute and also ask. There's no issue. I feel like I think we have. A, can you share your resume? We will talk about that. Like resume, I think I can maybe just tell like how to make, maybe build your resume and all. In next session, I guess that would be more grateful, because you should not stick with one resume. I think that's also subjective to one
Right,
point,
right,
right?
right.
So if we give you a generic template and all, in maybe next session, maybe I will make one video on that, right? So yeah, just soon it will come, right? So I guess that's it. Any more questions? How did you apply? Yeah, I feel like this is all. So thank you, Sipto, for joining, and it was really insightful. I guess I will rewatch this recording for my own mind to open, right? But yeah, thanks a lot. Uh, yeah, so yeah, let's meet, man. Bangalore.
Yeah. Thank you for having me actually.
Yeah.
Like
How was your
very
experience in this? Sharing your
man,
experience.
like I used to be in the other side of the computer. So like it's always good to help because I understand how useful helps those small little tips used to be when I used to ask my
Right,
seniors.
right.
So
Because
yeah, really glad that you asked me to.
yeah, thank you so much to join. I'm sure people here also got a really insightful things to know. Yeah, thank you, man. I think we can end this. Chalo.
Yeah,